This is Dr. Andrew Jones. In this edition of Veterinary Secrets, I'm going to answer the question, should you let your pet lick you? So, should you smooch or pooch? Is it okay for your pet to lick you? Great question. Interestingly, there's been a number of different things written and published recently warning you of the dangers of having your dog lick you, or warning you of the dangers of having your cat lick you. In particular, I think part of this is just this, our false awareness of the so-called dangers of the world. Secondarily, though, I really think there's a whole bunch of misinformation out there, and it's important that you're factually aware of what the real so-called risks are, and ultimately for you to make your own decision. So what are the risks of your pet licking you? What are those real supposed or not real health risks? First of all, yes, there are bacteria in your pet's mouth, as there are in ours. And they have bacteria such as Pasteurella. It's a pretty common bacteria that dog or cat bites, cat bite infections are caused by. So it's bacteria that's normally within their mouth. So is there a potential risk of getting that from your dog or cat? Yeah, very, very unlikely. And very few cases are ever documented coming from a lick. And in any documented cases, they've all come from a scratch or a bite wound. Cats have a bacteria called Bartonella. It can be found within their mouth. Typically, though, if you're ever going to see that as a cause of a human infection, it's from a bite and even more commonly a scratch, not from your cat who's affectionately licking you. Or Gussie. There are a number of different parasites. So there are the intestinal parasites. More commonly, I would be thinking of the roundworms in both dogs and cats. The big issue with getting roundworms, yes, people can get roundworms from dogs, for instance, but that actually takes the ingestion of those eggs, which are in your dog's or your cat's feces. And not only that, those eggs have to mature for a period of time. So they undergo changes. So anywhere from 1 to 21 days. So after the eggs have been passed within your dog's or your cat's stool, they have to change before they're actually infective to a person. So if your dog, your cat happen to have licked his or her anus, then you lick them or they lick you. Is there potential for you to get infected with those roundworm eggs? No, there's not, because they haven't matured. There are two other parasites, Giardia, Cryptosporidium. Potentially you can get those from your dog or your cat licking you. Has that ever been documented? Do we ever see that clinically? No, we don't. Literature searches of diseases from dogs or cats licking people, a dog or cat saliva, turns up virtually 0 cases, documented cases of people clinically becoming ill from a dog or cat licking them. So are there benefits from pet saliva, from pets licking? Researchers in Netherlands have isolated a compound called histatins, which seem to speed up new cell growth in terms of promoting wound healing. Researchers at the University of Florida have isolated specific growth factors within pet saliva that also seem to speed wound healing. Researchers at the University London School of Medicine have isolated a compound called nitric oxide, which is produced when pets lick wounds, pet saliva, that inhibits bacterial growth. So in different cases, clearly there's a reason why pets will lick their wounds, and there's obviously certain therapeutic properties within saliva. So no, it's not all bad. So what should you do? Should you just then throw caution into the wind and every pet to lick your face at will? Well, I would encourage you to use some common sense. If you walk into that shelter and you're looking at that whole litter of puppies that have just pooped on the ground and they're walking in it and licking themselves, you may want to hold off on them licking you until at least they're bathed and cleaned. But do I think that it's pretty darn safe to have your dog or your cat lick you? Yes, I do. Do I think there's a number of different benefits from that? You bet I do. If that's increasing the bond between you and your dog or between you and your cat, is that beneficial? You bet. It's probably more beneficial than so many other medicines that we have out there and so much other quote-unquote research and suggestions around how to stay healthy. mean, if you got a strong bond with your dog, you've got a stronger bond with your cat. I mean, there's so many different benefits from that, huge emotional health benefits. And if that's just one way that, that strengthens and forms that attachment, you bet I'm in favor of that. So then the question gets asked, do I allow my dog to lick my face or my cat? Yes, I do. So, should you be smooching your pooch? My opinion, yes, you should. And it may come as no surprise that Lewis regularly gives dog licks, although not necessarily on camera. Hence, he's a dog and he chooses his own time frame. But he's happy to have affection likewise. Even Gussie, the grumpy cat, she's in favor of pets kissing. Okay. Thank you for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets. What I want you to do now is first click that link in the box above. That can subscribe you to my channel. And then you can go ahead and click that link in the box below. I can send you my free books and videos on how to heal your pets at home with my top natural remedies.